When you think of the wondrous world that is Disney, many movies may come to mind. Frozen, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and of course, The Cat from Outer Space. But of all these wonderful films, none are more widely known than the classics. And the most classic of the classics is, of course, Snow White. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves was Disney's first animated feature film, debuting all the way back in 1938, right before a little certain German man had a genocidal conniption fit. Now, I'm totally aware of how stunning this film was when it was first released, and it still has some beauty and charm to it today, but it's almost mind-numbing to watch. I watched this movie again for the first time in about a year or so, considering I may have been too thick-headed to enjoy such a film as a child. But about 20 minutes into the movie, I began to remember why I disliked it in the first place. It feels kinda like watching an educational film in school. Like, I'm thankful not to be working, but I'm totally gonna be on my phone for the most of it. Now, for anyone who's brain dead or just wasn't paying attention for the entirety of their childhood, I'll be more than happy to reiterate this 200-year-old fairy tale for you. Snow White, some 14-year-old jailbait, is living with her bitch of a stepmother, I think, who just so happens to also be a queen with major insecurity issues, who gets all her reassurance from a magic mirror. One day, this mirror drops a bombshell on the queen, letting her know just how basic of a bitch she really is compared to Snow White. The queen, not having any of this bullshit, sends a huntsman to kill the princess and bring her heart back in a box, which, to be fairly honest, seems a bit extreme, but I understand the flair for thematics. The huntsman gets all emotional and shit, though, and sends the girl running into the forest to save a life. There, she comes upon the house of 7 dwarves, who mine all day for a living. She becomes their maid in exchange for shelter, and life becomes peachy keen, until the queen catches wind she's still alive and decides she'll take matters into her own hands. She disguises herself as a rancid old bitch and puts a spell on an apple. She then finds Snow White and tries coaxing her into eating said apple. This was before Stranger Danger took off, so of course, Snow White bites. Snow White goes comatose, and the dwarves come back to find her knocked out. Believing she's dead, the dwarves place her body in a clear casket on display. All hope seems lost until a 31-year-old man... Shit. Excuse me? Did you say 31? You're fucking with me, right? Oh, shit. Anyway, the possible child predator performs some borderline necrophilia, and bada bing bada boom, happy ending. Pretty simple and straightforward story. The story itself isn't my issue with it, though I may be having to make a phone call to Chris Hansen after this. My gripe with this movie, as I've said, is that it makes me really tired about a half hour in. Now, before I start tearing into this shit really heavily for no reason, I'd like to make it clear that this film isn't bad. I just have ADHD, and there's no way in the 7 shades of fuck I could possibly sit through this movie and enjoy all of it. This film is over 80 years old. I don't expect it to give me the emotions of something like The Lion King, or factually the best Disney movie of all, a Goofy movie. I'm just saying, for someone with an extremely short attention span, it's hard to focus on a little girl singing to animals for 3 minutes straight. I'd literally rather be doing anything else. Like, there are good moments in this film, mostly including the dwarves, because they're a bunch of badasses. Boys mine all day and party all night. That's some goddamn commitment. Their songs are arguably the best in this movie, and they chase that raggedy bitch up the side of a mountain. Speaking of which, the Queen's death scene in this movie is by far the most imprinted part of this film inside my brain. Watching her plummet to her death was jarring enough, but the image of the vultures glaring at her dead carcass was enough to make my tiny squishy little baby brain remember this movie. Holy fuck, Disney. Really taking a bold approach right out the gate. To be fair, I could think of other times Disney has radiated that same energy. You're making baby movies. Calm the fuck down with the trauma, mouse boy. Like, I get you want a gruesome death for the murderous hag, but you really gotta emphasize it? Oh no, kid, she just didn't fall. She got fucking eaten. The magic mirror is also super fucking creepy. Like, I feel like that's some shit you'd see in night paralysis or a fever dream. And don't even get me started on its voice. I'm really glad this is a boss fight in Birth by Sleep. Lets me air my grievances in a more destructive manner. But all in all, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves is a classic movie that everyone should get to experience at least once. It pioneered the Disney animated film line. This film was groundbreaking in several ways, and it for sure deserves the title of classic. But, for what it's worth, it's a film that I will gladly watch once every blue moon and put it back on the shelf to collect dust for another year. Final rating for this movie, 4.5 out of 10. Oh shit, you made it to the end? Hey all you goons out there, I hope you enjoyed my first ever review. Took way too long to make, and chances are high that I've already started on the next one and it's made me lose my shit, as this one did. If you guys did enjoy it though, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you hate me with a burning passion, please let me know why in the comments. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the streets.